Hey guys, welcome to week 3 online with MC418. I will be getting in touch with you if we set up that Zoom meeting with Mary Jane and the manager, so that possibility is still bubbling along. But for the rest of the semester, we have one more client to take care of. This is a very important client, someone I think a lot of, and I hope you do as well. And that client is you. Yep, you. So I want to be sure that everybody's prepared as much as possible to go into what I think we all will agree is kind of an interesting and perhaps challenging market. Media operations and advertisers and clients, everybody's kind of up in the air. We're not sure how things are going to restart. We don't know what skill sets we're going to need, what kind of messaging we're going to need, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's a tough time to graduate. I'm not going to joke you about it. But you guys are really good. You're professional grade. And I have the utmost confidence in you. So I want to be sure that we spend these last couple of weeks working for the most important person I can think of to work for right now. That's you. So here are the assignments for this week, and we're going to kind of refine some of these things as we go on over the next couple of weeks. I want to be sure that you have a good, clear understanding of who you are, what you're about, and what you have to offer. So where we would start with any client is doing what? A situation analysis. That's right. We're going to do a good old SWOT, but we're going to do the SWOT on you. I want to know, what are your strengths, your personal strengths? What are you good at? What are your weaknesses? What do you need to shore up or be knowledgeable about? What are the threats that are going on? Oh my goodness, if you can't think of some of those, you're just not paying attention. It's a difficult time right now. So think about the threats. But also think about the opportunities. Now remember, English is a weird language, so opportunities doesn't mean things we could do. It means what's going on out there that could actually be good for you. And it's probably a little hard to think about that right now because it seems like everything is scary and threatening. But there are always opportunities, even in odd times. So think about what is it that you have, what's going on out there that you could take advantage of, or in marketing we would call it what can you leverage? What can you use to kind of help move things? So that's going to be your SWOT analysis on you. What are you good at? What are your weaknesses? What are the threats? And what's going on out there that could actually be helpful for you? So do a SWOT. After we get the situation analysis done, then we can develop strategy, right? We need to know what we're talking about before we come up with ideas. So the strategy is the overall plan to achieve the objective. So I'm assuming your objective is either go to grad school or get a job or something of that nature. Well, what is your plan to do that? Write it down. You hear a lot about networking. People are like, I know networking is really important. Networking is really, gosh, you got to do some networking. What is networking? Well, basically all it is making a list of everybody that you know and that knows you. Remember, that's important. And think about what kind of connections do we have. And just not being afraid to approach them and say, hey, I'm getting ready to graduate, or I just graduated. I know it's a tough time. Do you have any leads? Do you know anything? What would you recommend? One of the secret weapons you can use, and this is just human psychology, right? Ask somebody for advice. I mean, only a sociopath is going to, shoot you down and not talk to you or hope that you crash and burn. Every time that I've done this throughout my professional career, when I've approached somebody, say, so-and-so, I've seen what you've done with that business. I would really like to learn more. Could you take 15 minutes and talk to me? Could you take 10 minutes and talk to me about this? Could be online, however we do it if we're not having coffee before then. But seek people's advice. It's flattering when people ask your advice, and they typically will respond. And it's a great way to get information. It's a great way to build up. If you're having trouble getting a start somewhere, consider doing work for a nonprofit. They're all going to need help, all of them, because the retirement of boomers and the current situation, they're going to be hurting, and they could probably use help. Now, the kind of, interesting aspect of a lot of non-for-profits is that you look at who are on their board of directors and their managers, and they tend to be people who are well connected in the community, who are trying to improve their community or are dedicated to a cause. That's another form of networking. It allows you to build your portfolio and to make those connections. So think of everybody that you know and that knows you. I mean, your uncle's friend who's in it. I don't care. It's a connection. All right? So networking is really about connections, okay? And remember, it's not who you say you know, it's who knows you enough to take the gamble of hiring you right now. So think about it in that way. So make a plan. How are you going to go at the next step in life? Write it down. You can always change it. That's fine. That's the beautiful thing about plans. You can change it as things develop. But have a plan of some sort, an outline. I'm going to do this and this and this, and I'm going to talk to so-and-so, and I'm going to get my resume ready, and blah, 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 blah. Write it down, submit it. And that is your strategy document, all right? So again, we're working for you as the client. So once we have the SWOT, we know who you are and what you're about, then we're going to come up with the plan for getting you where you want to go to achieve your objective. You're going to need a resume, and you're going to need a portfolio. There's no two ways about it. Most people that I talk to in the business, they make their hirings off of portfolios, not resumes. Resumes are just, they're kind of like the low bar. They're the thing they use to cut it from 400 applications to 40 applications, right? It's just ticking off the boxes of the qualifications that they're looking for. So here's a note. Right? We're always about crafting our messages. So anytime you're going after a job, you want to know the stated qualifications and criteria that they're looking for. And if you don't address those, you're kicked out. So your resume and your cover letter should hit those key criteria that they're looking for, because that's what they're using to kind of sift the first group. And things that don't fit, they're out. I don't have time to look at 400 applications. I don't really want to look at 40. I'd rather look at 10. So I'm going to use that criteria to cut out the herd and get it down to the ones that I want to take a look at. Okay? Don't get cut out. Understand what the criteria and the qualifications are. Be sure that you're addressing those. And if you don't meet them, wow, you better come up with a really creative reason why you're still a safe bet. All right. So that is going to be answered in your resume and your portfolio. They need to be, the examples in the portfolio need to be of a quality that someone looks at and says, ooh, yeah, they've done some work. I can work with that. You don't have to know everything. You just have to demonstrate that you can learn it and you can do it and that you have some experience. And that's what employers are going to be looking for. Now, there are free things online. Adobe's got one, Adobe Portfolio, I think they call it. There are other ones. There's no reason why you should not have a portfolio. Even if you're a copywriter, you put in some copy samples. If you're a strategist, put in some plans. If you're an account executive, put in a couple of cases like, here was the situation, this is what we did, blah, blah, blah. I will tell you that for the last several semesters running, people have gotten jobs directly off of the pitch books for 418. Why? Because they're real and they demonstrate that experience. That's important. That's what employers are looking for. When you can lay that book on the table and say, well, this was our class project, it was this real client, and here was the experience, and this is what we did, and here's the results, they want to listen to that. That's something they want to hear. So let's be sure that you have those two tools that you're going to need, a resume and a portfolio. Now, going forward, we're going to talk about video resumes and a couple of other things to kind of, shore up your toolbox a little bit, but that'll be for next week. All right. So there's quite a bit of work this week coming up. I want the SWOT analysis. I want the strategy statement. I want the first draft on a resume. I want the first cut of a portfolio so that we can see that you're making progress. And then we got a couple of weeks to refine that communication package for the most important client you are ever going to work for. And one of the most important ones I've ever gotten to work with. So please take care of yourself, right? Stay safe and healthy and well. If you have questions, shoot me an email, and I'll be getting with you soon if we're able to set up that meeting again, follow up with Mary Jane's. All right, guys. Thank you for all you're doing, and I'll talk to you soon.